Look, we have two different things we're conflating.
Yeah,
one is, can we afford the program? And the second one was, will people at low income levels be better off? The people who get the most money in terms of the size of the benefits are single women with children. And under the additional $12,000, which Medicaid is still being provided under Andy's plan, the numbers add up to about the same. They are not winners or losers in this calculation. But in terms of all the other low-income people, the ones who are making $15,000, $20,000 a year, particularly a couple, an additional $24,000 onto their income, they are way better off. So if you want to say we can't afford it, let's engage in that debate. I'll be glad to do it. But the idea that, oh, they're going to lose their food stamps, they're going to lose their EITC, well, the $12,000 for most low-income Americans is way more than they are getting in those benefits.
So,
first of all, two things. One is that's actually factually inaccurate in that in certain circumstances you actually are getting more benefits today. And the reason is because those bureaucrats making people jump through hoops we've seen denigrated so much do things like on your tax form, you fill out the number of children you have, and you get a larger EITC if you're in a family with 3 or more children than a family with 1 child. That's one of the things those bureaucrats do, and that, by the way, was partly my fault. We put that in during the Obama administration. Another thing those bureaucrats do is unemployment insurance. They make sure you're unemployed, and, really importantly, they make sure you're looking for a job. The evidence is that actually when you put a bit more funding into the part where they screen you, to check whether you're really looking for a job, something conservatives have supported because it's a form of program integrity to keep people committing fraud off of it. It actually helps more people look for jobs and find jobs. So that's something where you get a bureaucrat involved, they do a bit of extra work, it's not so simple, it's not writing them a check, but it's for a good purpose with a good outcome.
Andy Stern.
You worked in welfare bureaucracies.
Well, as I said, I had 3 binders in front of me to be so helpful. And now, I guess if I'm a welfare worker, I also have to drug test the people who are unemployment, because that's now what we're going to do. We're going to force the people on Medicaid to work. You know, this is not a very benign welfare system, and Martin Luther King had it right. You know, putting people's choices in their own hand is the greatest dignity you can give someone, and asking some bureaucrat to fill out their form, you know, is not the kind of dignity we need if we have another choice.
yeah, no, I think I think you make a good point, and that's why the thing that I kind of like about some of the things you've suggested is that
Keep coming, baby. You're coming our way.
is that if you take what we have and you build on top of it and you provide low-income people with some extra resources, I'd be for that, and I think Jason would be for that as well. The problem is this income constraint that you're just not dealing with. Your example before, and it's easy to get tangled up in this, really sounded like you're going to take everybody's benefits away because you're going to combine them into a UBI, and then you're going to give them back to them in the form of a UBI. So they're no better off, except for the fact, and here you have a point, that they have cash now instead of having to go through a set of programs. But hold on, this is key. Recognize that you can't do that if you're taking a big chunk of resources that you're now giving it to low-income people and giving it to high-income people. And the other side has not dealt with that problem yet. The only way to do that is to take it from low-income people or raise a bunch more taxes, and at some point you have to face that constraint.
Okay,
John, I'm bursting over here.
Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead, Charles. That's the first time I've ever heard a debater say he was going to burst, and it frightens me. So, go.
We have 2 profoundly different views of human beings. We have over there, and this is going to sound invidious, and I like you guys. I'm sorry it sounds invidious. but that we know better. We know how to dole out the benefits just right. We know how to calibrate this and calibrate that, but we can't just give people money. That's too simple. And it's much better if we do all of these smart things that we know how to do. And you got Andy over here and I saying, give them the damn money and let them decide how they want to live their lives and get out of their way.